Hello children, good morning and welcome back to your science class. In the last class we have started motion and also tried to distinguish with rest. Motion and rest, the two different things, and these things can be distinguished on the basis of position with respect to time. So today we will try to understand about the different types of motion. As you can see that we have already done the different types of motion here. So one by one I will just try to explain and please try to understand. So let's come and see the first one, that is slow motion. Dear children, what is the meaning of slow motion? A body is said to be in slow motion if it changes its position with respect to time slowly, just like snail. Snail, have you seen? Snail is changing its position very slowly. That's why the snail is in slow motion. Second, you can see fast motion. When a body changes position very fast with respect to time. Like suppose a person is moving very fast, means changing its position very fast, then we can say the person is in fast motion. Third, you can see periodic motion. Actually, what is the meaning of periodic? Periodic means what? That it happens after fixed interval of time. That is called periodic motion. Suppose day after night, night after day. It means that after fixed time, the activity, the things happens, then we can say that the motion is in periodic motion. Suppose one person, you can understand in this way also. Suppose one person is starting from this point and going up to this, again coming back, and again in the fixed interval of time again going, again returning and again going. In this way the activity is going on, the changing of the position is going on in fixed interval of time, then it is called periodic motion. Third, we have done. Now next is non-periodic motion. If the changing of the position by the body is not happening in the fixed interval of time, then we can say the body is in non-periodic motion. Now the next you can see that fifth one, that is rectilinear motion. Actually, when a body changes its position with respect to time on the straight line. For example, if on the road the ball is rolling on the straight line, it means that the ball is changing its position with respect to time on the straight line, then we can say the body is in rectilinear motion, or otherwise we can also say it as a linear motion. Like suppose one more example you can take. Suppose a vehicle is running on the road straight, then the vehicle is in linear motion or in rectilinear motion. Clear? Now you can see the next one, that is curvilinear motion. Dear children, curvilinear, a word is written here, curve. So curvilinear motion means what? When a body is changing its position with respect to time by making one curve. For example, suppose if you are throwing one ball, suppose one child is here and is trying to throw one ball. So ball will not go in straight, it will go in like this, like a curve. So ball is changing its position with respect to time, and during this process it is making one curve. So such type of motion is called curvilinear motion. So here you can see the changing of or throwing of ball is a good example of curvilinear motion. Now next is, you can see circulatory motion. Circulatory motion means if a body changes its position with respect to time in a circle, that is called circulatory motion. Suppose if you are trying to rotate in a circle, suppose you are here and trying to rotate here only in the circle, then you are in which motion? Circulatory motion. Clear? Fan, ceiling fan, if you see the motion is in circular manner, so it is also circulatory motion. Here you can see the vibratory, the next one, that is vibratory motion. Vibratory means what? The position is changing its position, the body is changing, vibratory motion, the body is changing its position with respect to time on its mean position. Mean position means what? Suppose you take one rubber band, stretch one on the two nail like this. This is two nail, 1 and 2, and just stretch the rubber band on it and try to vibrate. Try to pull and push this rubber band. It will start vibrating on its mean position. That is the vibratory motion. If you suppose a child is standing and starting jumping on the particular place, not changing its position but only jumping on the same position, then the boy is in vibratory motion. Clear? Now random motion, you can see random motion means what? That randomly it changes. If the one motion is randomly changed to another motion, then it is called random motion. Let me explain you. Suppose a boy is here and try to kick one football. Okay, so football is on straight line. So when the football is just moving on the straight line, then it is in rectilinear motion. At the same time, maybe possible that ball will pass through this way, so it will change into another motion, that is curvilinear motion. So when the motion, one motion is changing into another motion, then such type of motion is called random motion. One more type of special motion is also there, that is also called multiple motion. Let me explain you what is this multiple motion. Very important, and try to understand, children. Multiple motion, as you can see, multiple. In multiple motion, not a single type of motion is working. More than one type of motions are working there. See, suppose if you are drilling somewhere, then you have seen drilling machine. Drilling machine is just rotating in this way, and not only rotating, it is going inside, straight is going inside the wall, and also doing rotation. So when it is going rotation, then it has rotatory motion, and it is going straight, so it has linear motion also. So here you can see the combination of motions are there, and there such type of motion in which more than one type of motion is working, that type of motion we can say multiple motion. Clear? So this way we have seen the different types of motion, and they all are working, and easily so many examples are also there. Now dear children, how can you know that a body is very fast or body is very slow? So suppose here I have already explained you that slow motion or fast motion. How can you understand that body is very fast or body is very slow? What are the criteria? So to know the body is very fast or slow, we need two basic things, two basic information we need. And if we gather these basic information, we can say that the body is slow or body is fast. The first is how much distance the body has covered. The body has covered. This information we need. And second is time taken by to cover this distance. Clear? These two basic information, if we have, then easily we can find the given body is slow or fast. First information, how much distance the body has covered, and what are the time, in which time taken, means how much time the body has taken to cover that much distance. If these two information we have, then easily we can find the body is slow or fast. Clear? So here you can see the time is very important factor. And dear children, already I have explained when I have started this chapter that motion is what? When the body changes position with respect to time. So time is very important factor to decide a motion. Here also, whether the body is in slow motion or in the fast motion, time is important. So let's come and see the time. Okay children, let's come and see that how early people were used time. Actually time was also important for them at that time, so they had no such type of devices that we have to measure the time. So they made these devices, sundial, sand clock and water clock. These devices were very important at that time, but actually the time collected from these devices were not that much accurate, that vary from place to place, and that's why they are not in use now also. Clear? So we are not using now. We have latest technology, latest devices, the stop clock we have, and also latest devices are there that are used to measure time. Actually time is very important factor for all of us, and to know the time, or you can say to get the exact time, we have distributed the entire time into hour, second, minute, like this. Clear? So the SI unit of time is second. Clear? So dear children, we have distributed the entire time into this way. We all are knowing that 1 year has having 365 days. So we have distributed time in this way. 1 year we have distributed into 365 days. 1 day, 24 hours. 1 hour, 60 minutes. 1 minute, 60 seconds. So this way, a very smallest unit, that is second, and that is a standard international unit that is used to find out, to measure the time very accurately. Clear? So one scientist was there, that is Galileo, has introduced the term pendulum, and this pendulum is played a very important role in measuring the time. Dear children, I think you have seen the pendulum clock. Just like a pendulum is there, and that is very important. Nowadays so many persons are using the pendulum clock also. It's very, at that time it was earlier concept, but it is very applicable. So today we'll try to understand about the pendulum. See what is pendulum. Dear children, you can see that this is a string. One side is fixed and another one, that is one bob is there. This is bob, or you can say the metallic ball, and it is hanged here. So when it is in rest position, that is called equilibrium position. No motion is there. It is at that time it is under the gravity. Clear? So when this bob, when we change the position of this bob from A to B, and when we allow, when you leave it, it will start moving this and that, to and fro motion. It will come under to and fro motion. So it is come under oscillatory motion. It will start oscillating on its mean position, because this position is fixed. So this position is start moving. So it is undergoing oscillatory motion. So here you can see that there are two positions are there. The first you can see B and A. A is here. Okay, A is the mean position, B is here, and here we can write C. So here you can see A is the stationary position, that is a mean position, rest position. B and C are the extreme position of this pendulum bob. Here we can say the maximum distance from A to B, that is the maximum distance this bob has covered, and this is called amplitude. Here you can see, dear children, that from A to C also the maximum distance, and it is called amplitude. Clear? So the maximum when we'll pull this pendulum bob from A to B, and from here when you leave it, what it will do? It will go in this way. It will passes through A and it will move up to C, up to extreme position. Again it will come back to A. So from B via A it will passes to C, and again from C it will return back to A. This is called oscillation of pendulum. From B to C and again up to A, this is called oscillation of pendulum, and the time taken in doing so is called time period of oscillation. It is called time period of oscillation. Clear? And if we allow from B, if we leave the bob, it will go up to C, and again it will come to B position. Then it is called the time period of pendulum. Clear? So here we have two terms: time period of oscillation, that is only up to A, that is up to mean position, and if it come back again from the initial position, that is up from A, B only, then it becomes time period of pendulum. Okay, dear children, so today we have discussed about the different type of motion, distribution of time among the smaller sectors, and also we have discussed the importance of pendulum in calculating the time. So if you have any doubt related what we have discussed today, you are free to ask, free to message, and try to learn, try to revise. Okay children, thank you and have a nice day.